want to fall. All right. This is an awesome spot. Welcome back to the channel. Today this is my getaway day, and this is a lot of the scenery that we're going to be seeing throughout the whole thing. I have to take some pictures. Oh good. I took the battery out of this one. Well, at least I brought other cameras. This one doesn't have the battery in it. I see fish. That is pretty cool. Woo. I'm not wearing the right shoes for this. Okay. Look at these views. Excuse my backpack though, but this section of the creek is absolutely beautiful. And this is only the first place on this whole road that I've stopped on so far. So there's no telling what's going to be left in store to see. I'm not sure how well this is going to come up on camera, but there are so many fish here. Like creek chubs. I think I've seen some big tadpoles. That guy there, he's got like stripes. Oh, there's a bluegill. I can't believe how many fish are right here. I kind of want to try fishing, but I don't want to get like, I don't have a trout stamp this year, and I don't really want to try to catch trout. Honestly, I don't know what the regulations are on this section of Citico Creek. You might be able to use treble hooks. All I have is some bitsy minnows with me in the truck, so I don't really know if you can do that or not over here. So I'm probably not gonna fish, but man, it would be a lot of fun just with what I'm already seeing. These little bluegill and other little creek fish. Oh, there's a little largemouth bass right here. Man. And this is the first place that I've pulled off, like I was saying. Like, that's awesome. But I also think that this is gonna be a great place for breakfast. This will be a good test to see if the mic picks up all the way to the truck. All right, we've made it to the truck. So it'll be interesting to know if the microphone is still picking up or not. And really what it's picking up. How loud it is and all that sorts of stuff will be interesting to know too. Looks like everything stayed connected the whole time. And here we are, breakfast of champions, right here on the side of the creek. Coffee, donuts. Man, there are so many fish over here. I don't see trout, so I'm pretty sure that means I don't have to worry about it, right? The thing is that game wardens don't normally play nice. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Trip in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. These donuts are actually for my birthday, which was yesterday, which was probably much later than your guys are watching these videos because we have a big back catalog. But they asked me what I wanted. I said donuts. Who doesn't want a good donut? So that's what I chose for birthday instead of cake and things like that. I was like, donuts are definitely the answer. And donuts are something that you don't look at the next day and think, man, we still got to eat the rest of that. I feel like that's what we do with cake all the time. Oh, we got to finish off this cake, and nobody wants to. But donuts, nobody's complaining about eating those the next day. At least I'm not. I also got these new microphones for my birthday, and hopefully they're working pretty well right now. Hopefully you can hear me, and it's clear. It's not peaky. It's not too low. This is the first time I've used them. This is the test run. It probably would have made sense to, you know, try using them beforehand, but I'm not wise enough to do that. So here we are on an adventure using these microphones, but I think I've wasted enough time talking to you guys and trying to think about what I'm going to say. So now I'm going to stop and take some pictures of this area before we start moving down the rest of this gravel road and seeing where we can go. So I'm standing here looking at the water, debating whether or not I'm gonna fish. And I'm looking in, just scanning through, and all of a sudden saw just a monster trout. I mean, probably like 10 inches. Before I could get back to video and try to get a clip to see if we could see it in the water, I looked back at the water, it was gone. But that definitely solidifies it for me. Not going to be fishing in here today. Don't want to accidentally get a game violation for a fish that I'm not trying to catch. I don't really know how that works. If you're trying to catch bluegill or bass and you end up fishing in a stream with trout, I don't really know how it is, so I don't want to risk it. But that was pretty cool. I just wish I could have caught that on camera. That was a good sized trout. Like, I didn't expect to see one that big. I expected to see little fingerlings or something. But that guy seemed like a little bull for this creek. So we're definitely not going to fish. I did get some pictures. I think that they look pretty good. Obviously they look better in post every time. But I think we're about to get ready to get back on the road and see what else we can find. Now, y'all don't get used to all these B-rolly scenes and good stuff, because I can tell it's going to get old pretty quick. This camera's probably gonna shake horribly, but good thing I have B-roll. The cool thing about this whole area is that we don't have a whole lot of this stuff near where I live at. And so when you get the opportunity to come out here and drive a gravel road for a while, it's just a fun experience, for me at least, because we have some forest roads in this area of East Tennessee, but we don't have a lot of them. And so we definitely don't have a lot of gravel. A lot of stuff's paved now. And so you get out here and it's gravel, so that limits how many people want to try to take it. But it's a whole lot of fun. The other thing is that I was surprised with how many people are out here camping today. It actually took me a while to stop at that last stop because so many people were out camping. And it's not ridiculously hot this morning. It's currently 73, so I'm sure it was just fine yesterday or last night. But I was still surprised to see just how many were camping, especially with the forecasted thunderstorms and things that they've been saying basically all week. But the first probably I think I passed 6 campsites because I thought about pulling into one of the campsites if nobody was there. And the first 6 that I passed, which are all the ones I've passed so far, had somebody in them. So definitely a lot of people out camping. Whoa, goodness. Definitely a lot of people out camping right now. I'm gonna focus on the road because it is bumpy. Kind of wonder how cold this water is. It's cold, but it would be nice if it was like hotter outside. I could see people wanting to go swimming in that. Not really my thing, personally. I like to look at the water, but swimming in it, iffy. Now, the kid loves it. If he was here, he would want to be in this water right now. I'm gonna try to do this while holding it vlog style because I didn't bring it down. But I found a pretty flat, round rock. Oh, I got 2 skips. Oh, there was something big over here that I scared off. See little fish now. I don't know what that was. Huh. Neat. Man, I am having a great time out here. I've driven this road before, but it's been quite a long time since I did. And so it's hard to remember, and I don't think we made it all the way down this far. So I'm starting on the far end of it, and I plan on driving it all the way back out to what's called the Cherry Hollow Skyway. And I'm not sure if we ever made it this far. I think last time we drove it, we cut off early on a different road. And so I think all of this is new, but to be honest, I'm not sure I would remember at this point anyways. But I'm excited to see what lies ahead. This morning I was actually between 2 options. I thought about going hiking or I thought about driving this road. And I really debated it, and then the humidity drove me here. When I went to get gas before coming, I really questioned it. I was like, I don't know. It doesn't feel quite that humid out here yet. It actually felt kind of nice this morning. However, now that I'm out here and I've been going up and down these steep banks, I'm glad I came here. The humidity would have been awful. So I think the right choice was made to come and enjoy this part of nature, even though that view is not the best. But you've seen the other ones, they're great. So, as I already mentioned, there's a ton of camping on this road. And a lot of the campgrounds have been full. I mean, this is a national forest. Kind of camping is the name of the game, right? Public lands, being a place where people can go and get away inexpensively, which is rare these days anyways. But now we're at a different campground, and this is probably my favorite one. While some of the other ones that we passed are on the creek and you get like a great view of that, this one is big, it's nicely wooded, it's level, and there's hardly ever anybody here. I've been here twice, and every time there was one other person last time I drove through here, and now there's nobody, and it's pretty awesome. I mean, just look how big this place is. That's the main road. That's the first campsite. And you pan this way, and you've just got campsite, 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 and this road goes out and connects again back to the main road. But I mean, really, if you think about it, if you're lucky enough, you can come and get that campsite, which is going to be relatively level for a van, a truck camper, anything like that that could actually traverse this road. I wouldn't want to do much of a tow camper back through here, but you can have a pretty nice camp spot right there. And most of the time, at least in my experience, it seems like nobody is using this. I think that's because this is supposed to be some kind of horse campground. I mean, they've got all these stables, or not stables, but just like little pens, I assume, for people who are bringing their horses to the national forest. And then over here, we even got like a run out pen. So I assume a lot of people don't use it because they expect maybe somebody with horses would show up. You know, I was gonna walk through that, but we're in the middle of the forest. That's probably not a good idea. But anyway, if this place is meant for horses, I could get why you wouldn't want to stay here. I wouldn't want to stay here when there are people with horses here. And no offense to any of them, but horses can be loud at night in these kind of stalls, and they can definitely also make a lot of smells. And so I wouldn't want to be sleeping, especially not in a tent, in a place like this if there were a bunch of horses. There's even these metal horse pens that are fairly interesting. But over here's the National Forest Board talking about the campground and how much it costs and things like that. So it's $15. That is more than I think a lot of the other areas are, but they do have horse camp on this sign. Maybe I missed it on the other side. Am I that blind? No, it doesn't say horse camp over there. Okay, but this is a horse camp, so that is part of the big purpose of it. But, I mean, anybody can stay here. But it's $15 per site, which is a little expensive. I mean, a lot of places around here, you can go to a state park and camp in a powered, paved, watered campsite for about the same price as that. However, you don't really get this same kind of seclusion. You're not gonna get this with maybe just a few other drive-bys in a state park campground. Even on the last camping trip that we did, and we went to a state park campground, when it was supposed to rain all weekend, there were still a lot of people there. We had a lot of open sites. If you've watched that video, it's Edgar Evans, definitely check it out. But it wasn't this empty, it wasn't this quiet. So, you know, you take what you can get a lot of times. But really, I mean, if I was out here coming camping and I wasn't gonna do it all the time, I would probably take one of the spots on the creek too, if I really think about it. But no matter what, this is a pretty cool camp spot, especially if you're in a vehicle camper, because those other ones don't seem like they'd be best for that. They're definitely more for tents. It's much easier just to put the tripod in the truck than to actually break it down. We're gonna move on to the next spot. What's crazy is I sat here that whole time, plenty of cars drove by, but nobody else drove through this lot through that whole time filming this. And I even spent some time clearing off stuff off the SD card of this camera because I'm kind of a file hoarder. So I needed to delete some things so that we have the space for the rest of this video. But it's just crazy to me, nobody else showed up and came through here while we were in here the whole time. This is a pretty cool bridge. But it's also a little weird, because as we cross to the other side, it seems like it must be the bridge to nowhere. I mean, maybe it was the bridge to somewhere at one point, either that way or that way, but now it's just open and doesn't really have a destination. I honestly didn't even pull all the way down here. I parked at the other end of the bridge just because I thought, well, maybe it'll be something back here, maybe a campground, because it also said camping only in designated areas, and then it led to this side. I don't see why they don't make this a designated campsite. It would be pretty darn cool. But anyways, there's also been a few other things since I last talked to you guys. One, well, actually this isn't true. One happened before I talked to you guys and then I forgot, but we ended up on a paved bit of road. But in some places that's worse than the gravel road has been. But I know that just in a little while it turns back to gravel. I just forgot in the moment that it actually had a little bit of paved in the middle. But that's the problem in our area, is there's not a place to just go drive a whole lot of gravel. There's always some pavement somewhere. The other thing is that there was a weir dam, which I thought was interesting. I know those are built to help oxygenate the water, give fish different habitats and things like that, so I assume that's what they're doing. I've also seen signs that say you're not allowed to let your horses drink from the water or be in the water because of their endangered ecosystems, so I'm sure that's a part of it. But we also saw some fish from the road, like two big, just dark black bluegill that I was able to see from the truck and capture it on camera. So that all in all was pretty darn cool. Well, that's covered in ants, I guess. All right, we're not gonna sit there. Far fewer bugs on the old guardrail here. Anyway, I honestly didn't see those guys until they started moving when I went to sit down. So that was a lot. But anyways, I also, if I can get it out, wanted to take a moment to show the present that my wife got me for my birthday, or one of the presents. I'm sure some other stuff will show up in different videos, but in the case of this video, she got me this new knife. Hopefully it focuses on the knife. Maybe if I put my hand with it. But she got me this knife, which is really, really unique. It looks like Damascus, cool antler handle on it. And honestly, it just makes me feel like more of an outdoorsman when we're out doing something like this. So I've wanted a knife like this for a long time, and she got me one, and I'm super thankful for it and happy about it. All right, got to take a picture for the gram. Not really, I don't actually do Instagram, but I am always looking for a picture to use as a background that I took myself. And like, I would prefer not to have that one tree on the side, but beggars can't be choosers. I will use it. I think it's pretty nice. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This one from the other direction, super cool, which, I mean, how can it not be if in real life it looks like that? Super happy with that one picture. If I can get it to face on, like, there we go. Like, oh, focus, there we go. Like, I think that looks awesome as the new background for the phone and taken on the phone itself. Like I said, I'm super happy with this camera so far. We had a great time with it at the aquarium the other day, so I'm really enjoying it. I'd like to be taking some more big camera pictures, but it's kind of hard to switch back and forth between video and that. And like I mentioned in the beginning, I forgot the battery for my one camera. I've tried to be better about charging all the batteries, and then that causes me to forget things. So it is what it is. I'll take what I can get. Anyways, we need to get on to the next spot because it's already 10:30 and we have a long way to go. This is a pretty cool spot. I've been driving up since we last were videoing, and now we're getting to some spots where the water's actually falling. But one interesting thing before I show you where we're at that I saw on the way through here, and I'm not sure how well I captured it, was that somebody did do a bumper pull camper down this gravel road. I can't imagine how slow they had to drive. You're fully allowed to do it, but I can't imagine wanting to do it or what the inside of that camper looked like by the time they got over there. But they did have a really nice campsite, so I can't blame them there. And it seemed like they were having a good time. I could smell their fire for a while after I drove by, so kind of jealous that they're out camping, but man, I wouldn't want to be towing that thing down this road. But here is what we stopped to see. Finally, some rushing, cascading water. It is super bright out here today, but still an extremely nice place. As cool as it is over here, We've got to keep moving. We can't stay in one place all day or we'll never make it home, at least not at a decent time. So back to the road. Definitely gonna have to come out here more, and especially with the family. I like getting away and be able to have like just a quiet, do your own thing day, but the truth of the matter is the whole time I'm on a trip like this, I just want to share it with somebody else. And so I do wish they were here. I'm sure they're having a great time at home today, even though I'm not there, I'm out doing this. But I'm definitely gonna have to bring them back. I think my son would love the water the whole time and being out here in the woods like this. And we need to figure out the fishing regulations, know what we can use, and get that trout permit, because there are so many fish. And I'm not even really interested in the trout, but I want to get a line in this water at some point and see what we can catch. I realize I said that I'm not that interested in catching a trout, as I'm wearing an Orvis hat with a trout on it. It's not that I don't want to catch trout, but at this point I'd like to catch anything, not just a trout. Would have probably been a better way to say that, but I think you guys knew what I meant at least. I just want to be out here catching some fish and enjoying the day like we are right now, except for, you know, the fishing part. So I stopped just to consult the map because I was curious about where we are. So of course, we're the blue dot, and we started basically over there where that water is. We're right here and we're trying to get right there. So we're over halfway there, but we've still got quite a ways to go to get over here to Indian Boundary Lake where the road ends, and then we join back with the Cherahalla Skyway. So I think I'm just gonna put everything down for a minute. It's already 11:18. I still need to find a spot for lunch. I'm actually trying to find the spot that me and my wife, the last time we were here, the only other time we were here, used to eat lunch on, and because it's right next to a nice flowing section of water. So I'm trying to get there. I think I'm just gonna drive until I find a cool spot for lunch at this point. Even if there's cool things, I'll probably stop. I kind of want to not stop, but I don't also want to not have a moment to capture some kind of cool thing on this road, even though now I definitely plan on coming back here yet again because it's just so cool, for lack of fancy words. We've literally hardly drove at all, and then you get into some more really cool cascades, but I'm not looking to do the rock scrambling it's going to take to get down there today, so that's as good as we're getting on that one. I know that I said I was looking for a specific spot that Bree and I used last time we were here for lunch, and that was the plan, but there's two things. One, it's starting to look like it could storm any moment. It's gotten darker and darker since I've been here. The clouds are blowing around. There's a little bit of blue sky up here right now, which I don't know if you guys will be able to see, but the other problem is, what if somebody's there? So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and use here, and I've stopped a couple times along the way to check out things and get some pictures on the phone, but I stopped here and it's just too cool of a spot not to stop and have lunch at for a minute before we continue our trek the rest of the way out of here. So for lunch today, my lovely wife packed me a couple sandwiches and some chips and salsa. So I'm thinking this moderately sized rock in comparison to the really big rock over there is going to be a great place for lunch today. And the good news is there's no ants on this one. So I'm not sure how well the audio is going to do over here around all this rushing water, but I want to take a minute and mention how before I said it was impressive that somebody had pulled a tow camper through here. Well, that was impressive until I saw the guy who drove an entire Class A motorhome back here and was camping. So I cannot begin to imagine all the various noises that thing was making coming down this road. But I have to say, I bet it was worth it. I'm not sure I could think of a much better lunch spot than this right here. That was a really good lunch, but we have got to get moving. It is far, far too humid out here to be sitting still at this point. It's so bad my glasses started to fog up standing still. So we need to get a move on. I mean, it's only 77, but goodness gracious, that's crazy. Well, we've made it to the end of the road. Well, actually, That's not completely true. We made it to the end of the road a little while ago, but now we've made it to the Cherahalla Skyway. So we're back on the road, back on pavement for good, at least for the rest of today. Oh, now there's some Porsches. Wow, a whole Porsche club. That is the cool thing about coming to the Cherahalla Skyway, is that you honestly never know what you're going to see on this road. I've seen Fiero clubs, I've seen just everything. I've seen really nice sports cars, even nicer than Porsches, Ferraris, Lamborghinis. You've seen it all on this road. You're not going to see it on that gravel road that we just came off of, but you see some great things on the Cherahalla Skyway. Anyways, what I was going to say is that we're cruising on pavement. We're going to be heading back towards the house, see what the family has been up to today, and just enjoying the little bit of Cherahalla Skyway we get. But I'll check up with you guys again when we get back to the house. We made it home. I didn't realize that my son was going to be down for a nap and my wife was going to be working on that quilt. So I came back outside really quick to grab some more stuff out of the car and to make this closing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, had a great time on this trip. If you'd like to see more content like this in the future, let us know in the comments below. But either way, I think more of it's probably going to come. But anyways, I hope you guys liked it, and we'll see you in the next video. God bless. I also got these new mics for my birthday. Really shouldn't do that with my mouth full of donut. I'm having a great time. Woo! And not paying attention. Goodness. Ugh. I don't really want to like have to be that hunched over. How in the world do I keep ending up on the parts of this thing that don't move?